The 3 beliefs that keep Filipinos buried in debt. For many Filipinos, borrowing money and being in debt has become a way of life. It's become normal. Now, of course, no one wants to be buried in debt nor stay in debt. But for some reason, many people struggle to get out of debt. That's why in this episode, we'll transform the way you think about debt forever so you can get out of debt and avoid it for life so that you can enjoy a life free from any form of debt. But before we go into the beliefs, first we'd like to share where the inspiration of this episode came from. This episode was inspired from a coaching client who was buried in debt. He was an OFW earning a few 100,000 pesos each month, but more than half of his salary was going into interest payments for his loans. He felt stuck and trapped in his situation. During the coaching session, we were strategizing his get out of debt plan, his priorities for repayment, how he could generate more money, how to negotiate interests down, how he could reduce expenses. He even planned for the obstacles that could prevent him from following the plan and how to overcome those obstacles. With a plan in hand, he was very excited and confident that he could get out of debt. But before ending our coaching session, which nearly lasted for an hour, I asked him, "Do you have any other questions?" And to my surprise, he said, "So, when I'm able to do all this and get out of debt, can I borrow money again? Because there's this property available near us that I want to invest in." This made me realize that some Filipinos really have some beliefs that hold them back from ever becoming debt-free. That no matter how big their income, even if you give them the tools and the knowledge and the skills and the exact path to follow to become debt-free, they will never become debt-free. And it's because of these beliefs that we'll talk about in this episode. With that said, let's begin. Belief number 1 that keep Filipinos buried in debt is the thinking that borrowing money is a solution. Some Filipinos think that borrowing money is necessary to get ahead in life, and it's because of the belief that borrowing money is a solution to financial problems. But that's not the complete picture. The truth is that borrowing money is a short-term solution at the cost of a harder future. Sure, borrowing money may make something affordable now. It may help you get by for the month. It may allow you to get your car today, live your dreams today. But because of interest, the fees, you will face a harder future. And if you keep on sacrificing your future, you will wake up one day buried in debt, wherein more than 30% of your salary is just going into paying off debts. Can you imagine this? Working 10 hours a day, but only get paid for 7 hours? Where did the 3 hours go? It goes straight into debt repayment. And that's crazy, right? But that's what it's like when you have debts. You don't own 100% of your income. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but isn't it okay to borrow money as long as you can afford it? This brings us to belief number 2 that keep Filipinos in debt. Belief number 2 is, it's okay to borrow as long as you can afford the monthly payments. Wrong. Each peso that goes into paying interest is a waste of money. Why? Because you don't get any value from it. Here's a real-world example. If you go to the Pag-ibig home loan calculator, so you can test out how much money you can borrow and how much every month you'll pay for it. Let me give you an example of a calculation. Let's say you want to borrow 1 million pesos. Now, based on the term of the loan, the monthly amortization will vary. If you want to pay off the loan in 10 years, the monthly amortization is estimated to be 11,020 pesos per month. So, 11,020 pesos times 12 months in a year times 10 years, that's 1.3 million pesos. That's 1,322,400 pesos. What you borrowed was 1 million, but you end up paying 32% more. You pay an extra 322,400 pesos. Now, this actually gets worse. Let's say you want to pay off the loan in 30 years, which is what many Filipinos do. In borrowing 1 million pesos, the monthly amortization would be only 5,599 pesos. But if we multiply that, 5,599 times 12 months in a year times 30 years, the total would be a whopping 2,015,640 pesos. So you borrowed 1 million. But because of the interest, you'll pay 2 million. It's double. It's crazy, right? But it's crazier that people think this is normal, wherein it's financially stupid. Why pay 2 pesos for something that's just 1 peso? It's insane. And it's because of impatience. So, what's the truth here? Borrow only as a desperate last resort. So, let's go to belief number 3, and this will probably address what a lot of you are thinking right now. Belief number 3 is, I have no choice but to borrow money. Some of you might be saying now, I don't want to get into debt, but I have no choice. I can't afford the house. I can't afford the car. I need to borrow to make it more affordable. This might be tough to hear, but the truth is, 9 times out of 10, you don't need to borrow money. The only time borrowing money becomes a need is if it's a life and death situation, if it's a medical emergency, and it's the last resort after you've tried to raise funds, after you've exhausted all other possible options. But 9 times out of 10, people borrow money because they have become impatient. Throughout their life, they've been okay with paying rent or driving an older car or not having that brand new gadget. But for some reason, usually an emotional one, whether it's social status or an insecurity, you now want to get something you can't afford. And because of this impatience, they settle for an illusion of actually having accomplished that goal. Let me repeat that. People borrow money because they have been impatient in achieving their goal, so they settle for an illusion. What do I mean by that? You dream of having your own home, so you take out a 30-year loan even if it means paying twice the price for your dream home. You feel proud of yourself that you bought a house, your friends congratulate you, your family is happy, dream achieved. But is the house really yours? Or is it the bank's? If you stop paying, won't the bank take away your home? If so, can you really call yourself the owner? So, you're paying twice for something that you never actually own just so you can say you achieved your goal when you really didn't. I know what I'm saying here is challenging a lot of people right now, but it needs to be said. There is always a choice not to borrow money. Instead, to simply work harder and smarter, growing your income, starting that business, and save up and pay it in full, pay it in cash, whether it's a home, a car, a piece of furniture, or even starting a business. You always have a choice. And more often than not, that choice begins with choosing to maybe stop binging so much on TV series, some video game, or social media, and instead get to updating your resume and look for that better job, consistently delivering on your big work projects to get that promotion, or starting that side business. Now, please don't misunderstand. This episode is not about lowering your dreams. It's great to desire to want a house or brand new car or get that new TV, but this episode is meant to challenge you for your own personal and financial growth so that you can enjoy a life of real freedom and abundance in the future and not get trapped into the illusion of financial success when in fact everything you have is owned by your creditors. Banks with their 100 million budgets in advertising have been conditioning us for so many decades that you need to borrow money, that you borrow money so that you can fast track your dreams, so you can think you own that home or car, and they have made it so easy to apply for a loan, to get that cash advance. You might even be pre-approved for their credit cards. Their telemarketers are paid to call you in the middle of the day to get you to loan. But I'm here to tell you, that path is a lie. Debts will not lead you to freedom. You may think it does. Others who are in debt will tell you, even encourage you to follow along in being buried into debt. Even celebrities who we love so much, who have been hired by the banks, by the way, will endorse that getting a loan is okay. But you have a choice to choose to increase your income, to consistently save and invest so that you can afford your dreams 100%. And when you finally get it, it's real. It's truly yours 100%. This choice won't be easy, but at least it's going to be real. And that's it for the 3 beliefs that keep Filipinos buried in debt and the truths that can lead you to freedom from debt. Let's now do a quick recap. Belief number 1, borrowing money is a solution to financial problems. The truth is, borrowing is a short-term solution at the cost of a harder future. Belief number 2, it's okay to borrow as long as you can afford the monthly payments. Here's the truth. Borrow money only as a desperate, meaning life and death, last resort. Belief number 3, no choice but to borrow. Truth is, you have a choice to achieve your dreams without borrowing money. It's harder, but it's real. Now, I know this episode was challenging, especially if you are now realizing that you might have made some mistakes. Some of you might even have a hard time accepting the lessons in this video. But remember, the mindset that got you into debt can't get you out of it. If you keep thinking the same way, you'll end up with the same results, which is, for many Filipinos, buried in debt. So let's delete these 3 beliefs that keep us buried in debt and follow the liberating truths. And you can be sure you will enjoy a life free from debts and interest payments, and you'll be on your way to having real financial security, freedom, and abundance. Hey there, J3 here. Did you enjoy this episode? If you did, well, there are 2 things you can do right now to continue your journey towards financial freedom and abundance. First, subscribe here in our Pinoy Money Academy channel so that you'll get updates on our new episodes, so that I can send you free training videos on everything and anything about money. Second, if you want faster results towards financial freedom and abundance, you can subscribe to our 5 Pillars of Wealth online video series. This is a free series of 3 eye-opening, life-changing videos where you'll learn about the 5 most essential concepts needed for anyone to become wealthy. And if you don't know these 5 pillars of wealth, well, you're disadvantaged in your journey. You can view this training for free online just by going to the following URL. That's pinoymoneyacademy.com/5pw. The link is displayed here on the video. Again, the link is pinoymoneyacademy.com/5pw. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Until then, always remember that wealth is a choice, so choose to be wealthy.